Hi, guys. So this is going to be a brief overview of Chapter 1. Chapter 1 shotguns a lot of information, talks about a lot of different systems, which will be gone over, most of them will be gone over in more detail as we progress through the weeks. All right. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of the chapter. I'm not even going to do the screenshot of the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint has a lot of good information. The chapter has a lot of good information, but I'm just going to get, like I said, just a quick overview. There's many different types of technology that we use in hospitality. So this chapter, Hospitality Technology Systems, talks about some of those systems. A system doesn't necessarily have to be software. It could be software and hardware. Technology doesn't even need to have, well, almost all technology has some kind of software. But as far as an interface with software, a smart oven, a smart hood, that's technology that is head and shoulders above what we had in the industry even 20 years ago. All right. But even 10 years ago when I started, some of these things weren't even around. I remember we had an Alto Sham, fancy Alto Sham, at culinary school. It was like the first time this high feature combi oven was ever showcased, and that was only 10 years ago, right? Yeah, now there's been things like that, but it was supposed to be the next best thing, and nowadays it's no more capable than any other. All right, so technology is ever moving, so and there's systems and there's things all over the place. So we're going to talk about the chapter is going to have a lot of systems in there, but the primary ones are going to be your POS and PMS. POS and PMS. POS is the point of sale system, and PMS is the property management system. PMS is generally found at hotels, and the POS is found at hotels and predominantly at restaurants. All right, POS, point of sale system. We all know what that is. It ties in with the register to taking orders from the service taking orders, prints into the kitchen. But there's a ton of different add-ons that can be in there. We're going to address that in a second. And then the PMS is a property management system. You could think of it as a POS for restaurants because it does take money, just like the POS does. But there's more to it. There's very specific needs to manage property. Right? You have things like standard stuff features of most PMSs is going to be things like reservations, check in, check out, tying in all your financial reports to the night audit, and guest excuse me, guest folios, customer CRM, customer relations management, and we'll talk about all these later on in the chapters in the book. But all these different things, housekeeping is huge, right? All of these different things are part of the PMS system. All right. Now, some of the other systems we have, maybe they're standalone or tied into either our POS or PMS, is sales systems, e-commerce, accounting systems, social networking. That might be more standalone. We might have, you know, just an account on certain social networking. Our website, developing our website, optimizing our website, all those different things. So that's all technology we're going to use in the hospitality industry, and many, many, many more. Now, how do you decide on what to get, right? I can tell you that before I worked in this industry, I worked in sales, inside sales at a showroom for another industry, and I saw how a lot of things happen, and I saw a lot of similarities when I moved into hospitality, and that is especially your mom and pop stores, right? Whether it's a restaurant, a hotel, a travel agency, or whatnot. The people running that are very, very busy. The people that own it, are the managing it, are the chief salesman, are the purchasing agent, all kinds of different things, right? Same with a restaurant, the chef, the owner is the chef, the purchasing agent, the hiring manager, all these different things, right? You wear many, many hats, right? So taking the time to purchase a software it can be left, you know, to chance, I guess. And what I was going to say was what I witnessed is a lot of the small organizations, most of their systems, right, their technology systems, if not most, but most of the companies will have at least one system that they only have because a salesman told them they had to have it during a cold call. All right. That is the worst way to buy software or to buy a system, all right, or to contract a system. Okay. So how do you do that? Well, you want to look at your need, right? But you also want to have three things to consider. Does it give you a competitive advantage? Does it improve uh, proficiency, and does it improve profitability? Profitability. Now, those things are interrelated. A competitive advantage, having better proficiency, can give you a competitive advantage because you can now offer your products at a lower price because you're spending less because you're more efficient. Other ways to achieve a competitive advantage is product differentiation. I mean, making your product, and our product at the hospitality is the experience, the food for restaurants, but also the experience at a restaurant is the experience at a hotel, and then the amenities and things like that nature. But there's a lot of intangibles tied to those tangibles, right? So technology can actually give you a leg up, right? If you're known as if you have, I know there's a lot of hotel chains that have created proprietary software that gives them an advantage because it gives them a feature that other people can't have because it's copyrighted software, right? Now, other people will find a way around that. They do a workaround and create their own software that does the same thing, but in a different manner, get past the copyrights and stuff like that. But for at least a moment, they have a competitive advantage because they're offering something that they can't have that was directly caused by the strategic choice in software or development of, in those bigger examples. All right. Now, other ways to do competitive advantage is to be able to offer things cheaper. Well, if your technology is such that you can do things with less manpower, or quicker, or more effectively, or in a more cost effective way, well, then that helps you with that competitive advantage. If your competitors are not doing it, okay. And then another one would be improved customer service. The technology gives maybe gives increasing that efficiency again, but gives the people more time to speak with and to interact with customers and clients and guests, right? And then we talked about increased efficiency. I just beat that down, but increased profitability. If you can do more for less, you have more profit. Now, most of you have had classes with me. You know that I like to use this example, right? Up here is our revenue, down here is our cost, right? If technology, right, brings in more revenue because it gives us product differentiation or competitive advantage, it brings in more revenue, but it keeps our costs down here. Well, then what's increased between my two levels is profit. Or maybe it doesn't do this, but it decreases our cost. Well, again, that increases our profit, right? So it's not just a quick decision. You have to look at it from those points of view. Will it give me a competitive advantage? Will it give me better profits? Will it give me more efficiency? And again, those things tie in together. So all this stuff and a lot of different systems and terms and stuff like that is included in this chapter. So make sure that you look at the terms that I've deemed the ones that I found to be most important. They're in the flashcards. Make sure you study those. They'll be on a quiz. And have a great week. Look forward to seeing you in the discussion. And so far, we're off to a good start. So thank you very much.